Hello, welcome back to another Mahner Farms video. It's a little bright out here today, despite being overcast. My eyes are real light sensitive. Guess that's because I've been working inside all day. Anyway, today we haven't done a video for a while, so I just kind of wanted to show the process. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this up because it's going to be a bunch of stages, but I got exciting news about a pickup truck. I finally got around to actually getting a newer pickup truck. Most of it's just the plan of, or why I wanted a pickup truck, I guess I'd say, is to get some more work done on the farm. We had a farm truck, but then that died, as you guys might know. I might have already talked about that on the channel, but I needed to get one for myself for a while, so that's what I did. So I'm going to show it to you today, and then the plan is to kind of show you the process, because I got some upgrades I want to make to it before we call they're good, and some of them are kind of just cosmetic, other ones are going to be more important, but let's get to it. I'll show you what it looks like now. So this is what it looks like now, so I guess I could give you the technical summary on what we're looking at here. It is a 2019 Ford F-150 XLT, fairly base model for a lot of stuff. It does have the 8-foot bed, which is great. I wanted the 8-foot bed. It is 4-wheel drive. You can see we've got the stock 17-inch, I guess you call that flat silver rims on there. It is, of course, white. This is the 5.0 V8, which, again, that's specifically what I was looking for. I did not want to have to deal with the 3.5 hand grenade or the 2.7 no power. I don't have a good nickname for the 2.7. It's a nice, reliable engine if you have a truck that you don't want to use for any work, but if you want work, it is not exactly what I would call an actual truck. So, all that being said, this came with a full-length roll-up tonneau cover on it, which I'm a big fan of. I really enjoy that. I want to say it has the smaller tank. I don't think it has the big 38-gallon tank. So there's that. That's the only downside there. Otherwise, it's all, in good shape. For the truck, you can see we've got fifth wheel mount rails on there. We don't have the actual fifth wheel mount. The guy bought it from Put the Rails In, planning to use this for fifth wheel hauling, but then never did that because he didn't buy his fifth wheel camper. But we have the spray-in tough lock, or whatever it's called, that brand for bed liner, so I love that. As far as our interior goes, this is, of course, the extended cab, not the full-size 4-door. I was open to either or, so basically that just came down to what the best price was. Interior-wise, you can see it's a little worn. We've got plain cloth interior, so I plan to do something about that. As for floor mats and stuff, we've got the stock factory carpet floor mats. Nothing exciting there, but I plan to upgrade on those. Front seat, we've got the jump seat configuration, so that's nice. It gives us seating capacity for 6 on the inside. Overall, like I said, seating, upholstery is a little bit dirty. Carpet, of course, that's dirty. I'm going in and out of the truck all day, on a farm or at my rural home, so it's expected for that to be a little bit dirty. But overall, I definitely like it, and I think it's pretty good, and we've got a lot of room to upgrade here. So, I'm just going to be showing little clips going forward here on when I do a little upgrade here and there. Like I said, some of them are just cosmetic, some of them are going to be more substantial. First thing I'm doing is, in a week, I've got an appointment to bring this in to get the transmission serviced. Yeah, and so for the transmission, basically, this is higher mileage, the vehicle, so I was able to buy it in cash, which is nice. It's still got a lot of life left in. There's nothing wrong with the transmission at all. It's just, there are different suggestions. So a lot of people will advertise transmission fluid and filters as lifetime, and that is technically true, because if you never change it, it will last the lifetime of the vehicle, or at least for most people, because that transmission will eventually fail. So the service window for when the recommendation is a full drain and a filter change and full fluid replacement for these transmissions, this is specifically a 10-speed transmission, but every transmission for an automatic transmission car has this. There is a service window. Now, Ford says 150,000 miles. My uncle, who's a mechanic and has a lot of experience, has about 100,000 miles, and then if you look online, you can find a lot of them that are in that window, and some that are even as low as 30 to 60,000 miles. But basically, you should change your transmission fluid and filter before you start having problems. I'm not having any problems with this transmission. It shifts just fine in every single range, but considering the mileage is up there, I'm going to get a full drain, full filter replacement, everything. So I'm taking it in about a week to get that done. If it was an older vehicle, I'd do it myself, but this one's a bit trickier. The pan is actually underneath or above the exhaust. The exhaust goes right underneath it, so I didn't want to do it myself, and I didn't even want to go to my uncle's shop to do it because they don't have the tools for it. I called up a local place that does this type of thing a lot, and they said it'd be no problem for them. So that's the first thing we're doing. I'm also planning on putting some 18-inch rims on this, because that's another one of the stock sizes. I'm not going to go wild or out of control with the tire size I'm doing on. I'm going to do the stock size for 18-inch, but that's one of the plans. I might do a leveling kit. We're going to do some interior upgrades like leather seat covers, stuff like that, to just make it a little bit nicer on the inside and a little bit more durable. make sure that it doesn't get dirty so quick. But that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So like I said, this will probably take me a couple weeks to do this, but in the end, the truck will look very different. So we're going to do a before and after. So stick around and enjoy that. All right, so step one's down. I guess it's step one because it's the thing I did first. We went and bought some rims, which came with some summer tires, which is fun because summer tires and some are not, if that makes sense. But we got a set of 5 rims for $400, so we can add that to our total tally of what we've spent on the truck so far. Gonna get these unloaded, not tomorrow, but the day after. I'm taking it in for the transmission service. After that, we're gonna get to work on doing some other stuff. Also ordered a 2-inch leveling kit for the front, because you can see we're pretty well canted down, so we want to level that off. So hopefully we'll be doing that on Friday. So let's just get to unloading these tires. This is what they look like. Pretty cool, 33s overall. It's, I believe, one of the stock sizes for the truck, so even without the lift, it shouldn't rub, but then especially with the leveling kit on the front, it should be pretty good. So these are 275/70 R18s, aftermarket rims that I think look all right. Rim for the spare tire. All unloaded. Well, that wraps up most of what I had planned for the outside. I still want to put a toolbox in the bed since I have the 8-foot bed, and then have the tonneau cover because I like the roll-up tonneau cover. I never had one before, but I really like this one. I want to have that come up to the edge of the toolbox, but we don't have to do that right now. So we're almost done. You can see tire behind us there. We got our new tires mounted on our new rims, and we have the truck leveled. So the outside is all done for now. We also had the transmission serviced at this point. All we're waiting on now is, well, I mean, it's actually nice weather today. It was forecasted to thunderstorm today, if you can believe that. But all we got left is some interior stuff, so let's get to that. And that brings us pretty much to the end of it. So I just want to do a final price breakdown before I show you, one last time what we've all changed on it. But this will give you an accurate idea of what we actually spent on this whole project. So the initial truck price, the purchase price, what I paid in cash, was $14,000. So I was able to get a pretty good deal, at least in my opinion, on this vehicle from the start. And that allowed me to use the rest of the money I had available to do the rest of the things I wanted. So first expense after that was $1,045 for tax and title, which, that's never fun, but it is what it is. After that, we took it in and got the transmission redone right away. Not any major work, just new fluid, new filter, new mesh assembly, and new gasket. That was $640. Then we went and bought those new rims. That was $400. The new tires we had installed on here were $1,600, mounted, balanced, and with new TPMS sensors installed. We had our leveling kit. We bought that for like $50, but the total install and everything with labor was $300 for that. Seat covers that we put in last night were $210, and the all-weather floor mats were $135, bringing our total all-in price to $18,330. So considering we were able to get a not very old V8 with pretty reasonable mileage on it in pretty solid condition and do all of the upgrades we wanted right away, that's not terrible for an all-in price. So now let's just take a look at everything we've changed. But that's it for this project. So this was a fun one. I'm glad that we finally have a new truck that I can start doing some more work around the farm with. Man, it's really bright today. But I always say that in these videos. So thanks for coming along on the journey. I hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to include the price breakdown so that we have a more accurate representation of what we actually all spent and did on this project. And I think we've achieved that. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and we'll see you next time.